Hello, welcome to Owl's Airguns. This is part 2 of our review on the Daisy Model 25 pump action BB gun. In this portion, we went ahead and tested the Model 25 for accuracy and for velocity, and I would like to go ahead and give my final thoughts on it as well. Okay, Model 25 velocity testing with standard Umarex steel BBs, 5.1 grain. $294. $297. $300. $291. $297. With regards to the velocity, over 5 shots, the Model 25 turned in an average velocity of 295.8 feet per second. Converting that, assuming 5.1 grains for the BB, that is a muzzle energy of 0.99 foot-pounds. So almost 1 foot-pound there. Also, that converts to 1.3 joules of muzzle energy. Now, it seems to me, I've had a couple of these new BB guns lately, and it seems that the more you shoot them, the velocity tends to pick up just a bit. I tested this one when it first came in, and I believe it was more like a 280, 285, and obviously it's come up a bit since then. I also noticed with the Red Ryder BB gun that we've had here on the channel, the velocity on it improved about 12 feet per second over the month or so that I was shooting it. So I don't think it's done there. I suspect we'll get slightly over 1 foot-pound of muzzle energy. Remember, BB guns are not powerhouses. With regards to accuracy, well, I'll go ahead and play the video for you. Okay, that was 10. Let's take a look and see how we did. Okay, not bad at all. Let's go ahead and move that up a bit. All right, looks like all 10 of them are in the 10 ring, and it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the shots that have actually broken the edge of the bullseye there. Very cool. Hey, let's go ahead and compare that, do some compare. Like I said, looks like all of our 10 shots, well, we got 1 in the 9. Other than that, all are in the 10. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that have broken the red of the bullseye. So 1 in the 9, 9 shots in the 10 ring, with 4 of those having broken the edge of the red bullseye. The gun shot very well as far as accuracy, and I feel like if I had a more distinct front sight, I could do even better. And I did a little shoot off between the Model 25 and the Daisy Red Ryder, And frankly, I was surprised. The Model 25 edged out the Red Ryder, even though my particular Red Ryder is equipped with an electronic dot sight. And when I put the dot sight on that gun, it improved my accuracy score substantially. Much easier for me to pick up. If I were trying to explain the difference in accuracy, even saying this gun is at a disadvantage sight-wise, I personally would attribute it to the handling of the Model 25. I don't know that the inherent accuracy is that much different, but what I would call the practical accuracy, how easy it is to shoot well, this one has higher practical accuracy. And I attribute that to two things. One, it's a heavier gun. It beats out the Red Ryder by almost a full, well, right about a full pound. And it tends to be a bit muzzle heavy. The weight is up front, and I feel like it really sits in your hand well. I was shooting seated offhand, and I think that's where you can see the little bit of the difference. I'll have a comparison video out for that shootout. But yeah, this one, it doesn't pull off target as easily for me. I don't get flyers with it. It tends to sit in my hand and be steady when it fires. So I felt like it was at a sight disadvantage and really expected the Red Ryder to beat it out, and it didn't. This shot a 99 out of 10 shots, and we weren't giving anything extra for hitting the red bullseye. If we had done that, it would have considerably outdistanced the Red Ryder. Basically, it had one shot that was in the 9 ring, everything else was in the 10 ring, and out of that, something like 4 of the shots broke the red of the bullseye. So no, performed very well. That was only at 7 yards, 21 feet indoors, because that's the length of my indoor range. But for a BB gun, that's a perfectly good test range. So no, I think the accuracy definitely goes to the Model 25. The power is what it is. I think it will continue to increase, and none of these BB guns are real powerhouses. So what are my final thoughts about the Daisy Model 25? Well, I'm really glad they brought it back. This started production in 1914 and continued with 58 variations all the way up to 1979 when it went out of production, kind of on hiatus. And we were very happy to see Daisy bring it back in 2009. So it's been in production again for another 26 years now, and we're sure thankful to have it. It is definitely a classic design that the world is better off for having. It shoots great, handles really well, very traditional looks and styling. Quality of construction is excellent, particularly for this price of an air gun. These are between $60 and $65 US at most stores. It does come with an adjustable rear sight, and it has 2 rear sight options, both a buckhorn style notch on the rear, and you can flip it, and the other sight is a peep sight. I think if I was outdoors, I'd shoot with the peep sight. Didn't really have the light that I needed to use the peep sight indoors here, and I think the peep sight gives even better accuracy, at least in my hands, than I get with the notch. And obviously the notch did very well. Construction is primarily metal and wood. Wood foregrip, wood buttstock. The only plastic on the gun that's apparent is it does, like all Daisies of modern manufacture, have a plastic trigger and a plastic safety assembly here. But that's inside of a metal trigger guard and a metal receiver, so it's well protected. It doesn't really matter that this is plastic, and it gets a little better shape and is really formed better than the old metal triggers were, which were just a bent piece of sheet metal. So I don't really have problems with the plastic trigger. The wood buttstock, I think, is great that they've gone back to that, and they did that a number of years ago. I don't know that the Model 25 was ever produced with a plastic buttstock, but many of the Daisy air guns, BB guns, did switch to plastic forearms and plastic stocks at one time, and I'm very pleased that Daisy returned to the wood. A wood and metal air gun that retails for under $70 provides this kind of reliability and accuracy with this kind of a fit and finish. I think it's an outstanding value. If you haven't shot, the other thing I have to give a nod to the Model 25 for is its forced feed system. You know, it has a spring-loaded magazine, so the BBs are fed reliably. You don't have misfires where BBs fail to load like you do in a lot of the lever action BB guns. So, you know, that was another area that I feel like the Model 25 really beats out the Red Ryder and some of the other lever guns like the Marlin. You know, they are gravity feed or rattle traps as they're affectionately called, and you do get misfires. You know, with the Model 25, your capacity is limited to 50, where those other guns will take hundreds and hundreds of BBs, but it shoots every time you pull the trigger, which was a really nice feature. So I think if you don't have one, you'd do well to try one, then go ahead and spend the money. The other thing about them is they tend to work forever. I've got a Model 25 that, as near as we can tell, well, it was produced between 1920 and 1930. We believe data manufactured to be about 1926 for that rifle, and it still shoots today. And you know, it's not uncommon for these things to soldier on for decades. And yeah, that's quite a value. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. Go ahead and take a look at the target shooting, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks a lot.